right now I'm on my way over to the old house. We were actually going to do some stuff on the Razzle Dazzle today on the dune buggy, but it ended up not working out. Me and Emilio were working on the fuel system yesterday and we got a whole bunch figured out on it. But long story short, we're not doing that. It's just me right now, and I figured since nothing else is going on today, this would be a good time for me to go try to fix Wago up some, because it's been sitting on the jack stands ever since the crash at the old house, and we are getting ready to get everything completely moved out of the house, and Wago is one of the last things that needs to leave the old house. So I'm on my way over there right now just to kind of see what it needs. Obviously I know the oil pan and stuff's destroyed, so I'm gonna try to get the oil pan stuff pulled off today and see if we can get it running and get it over to the new place. So that's what I'm doing today. So that's what this video is going to be about, and we'll see you guys once we're at the house. All right guys, just made it back over to the old house where Wago has been sitting on jack stands for quite some time now, ever since the accident. And yeah, I guess the first step to do on this thing would be to get the oil pan pulled off. For those of you that don't remember, we put a gnarly hole in the bottom of the pan right there. I mean, dude, half the pan is pretty much not even there. You can see the pickup, there's like all this grass caked up under there. So yeah, we need to go ahead and loosen all these little 10mm bolts that hold the oil pan on and get that guy pulled off. We already did pull the traction bar off and stuff when we brought it back to the house, and we have a brand new one in that box over there from Innovative. We have the new fender as well, I think I already showed. And we don't have new wheels just yet. I did actually get some new wheels on the way for this thing, but they're pretty cool wheels, and they're going to take some time to get because they've been on back order, and I'm really excited to get the new wheels for this thing. But those will be coming another day, so we're not going to be able to roll it out unless we find some wheels today. But the goal for today is to try to get the oil pan fixed up and just start buttoning everything else up and get this thing ready to roll again, because we are just about moved out of the house. There's still some stuff we gotta finish moving out, but we need to get Wago out of here and moved over to the new place. And I'd like to drive it over there and not have to bring the trailer and trailer it. So let's go ahead and pull that oil pan off and see what we need to do to fix her up. All right, so I just got the oil pan pulled off of Wago, and holy crap, guys, this thing is destroyed. It hit that curb very hard. I knew the hole was big, but after seeing it off the car, you can just see like how bad that really is. I mean, look at the size of that. Literally a third of the oil pan is like missing right there. It also dug up a whole bunch of dirt. There's this huge clump of dirt that's sitting in the back of the pan because it did go over a part of grass. So after it hit the curb, it must have dug into the grass some and dug up some dirt out of there, and then the oil that was in the pan kind of made this all clump together. It's still like wet from oil, but damn, check out that hole, guys. That is massive. I mean, I can fit my whole foot through it basically. That's a big old hole in that oil pan. So just got that guy off, and that is completely trashed, and it doesn't look like anything else is too damaged underneath here. The pickup did get nicked just a little bit. It is barely bent right here, and it looks like there's some grass maybe tucked up in the pickup. Doesn't really feel like there's much in there, so I'll probably just brake clean that out, but I think the pickup's gonna be fine. Maybe just bend this back out with a flathead right here, and we'll be all ready to go. Get everything under here cleaned off, get all the old silicone off, and get our new pan thrown on there. But yeah, guys, Wago hit hard. I've been meaning to take that oil pan off for quite some time now and see the damage. And I was over at the shop earlier today looking for an aluminum oil pan for this thing, because I brought this one over a few days ago because I thought this was the same oil pan as that. This one was over on our side, so I just assumed it was a K-Series oil pan, and it is definitely not for a K-Series. So that is a different oil pan, and it turns out that I do not have any more aluminum oil pans left. So what we are gonna have to do on Wago is put a steel one on it. So I have this K-Series steel oil pan right here. It's basically the same exact oil pan, except that one's just made out of aluminum, and it has like these extra pieces that come off right here. But I kind of like the steel ones more, honestly. And I had an extra steel one laying around, and I just double checked to make sure that it fits, and it does, because some of them have different heights and some of them are too shallow and they actually hit on the pickup. But this is the correct oil pan, so we are good to go there. But one other thing I have to do before we can put the new oil pan on is get a bung welded on for the oil return from the turbo. This one had an aluminum tube, obviously, for the aluminum pan. I have some steel tube that I brought from the shop. I'm getting ready to head over to Hayden's shop right now, and he's gonna help me weld a new bung onto this pan so that we can get everything put back onto Wago, because I don't have any more of the welders or anything over here. So I'm working with the tools I just brought from the shop. So before he leaves today, I'm gonna go run this over to him. He's not too far away, so he can get that done for me, so we can hopefully get this pan on by today. So I just texted Hayden to let him know I was on my way over to his shop, but turns out he actually just left. So I'm not gonna be able to get the oil pan and stuff done until tomorrow, because by the time I go back to our shop and get it welded and come all the way back out here, I'm gonna kill like 2 hours, and I just don't have the time to get it done today, unfortunately. But it will give me time to track down some other parts that I needed for it anyways. We still need to find a couple more wheels. Just found out that the alternator is completely destroyed too. That plug's broke off the front right there, so we're probably gonna need to get a new alternator. We need another alternator belt. Radiator cap's missing, and it also needs a CV axle on the passenger side, because that one completely pulled apart. I'm not sure if the control arm on this side is damaged yet, but it at least looks good enough, you know, to drive the car. It might not be perfect and the alignment might be a little tweaked, but to drive the car, the control arm and stuff looks like it'll be good. But I do plan on replacing that later just to be sure. But yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to call it there for tonight. We got the oil pan and stuff off, but I don't have a welder over here, and I'm just gonna have to come back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have everything to get her back up and going. And yeah, we'll pick back up on this once we get that bung welded up. So I'm back at the shop, and I got both oil pans over here. I just brought the aluminum one for reference on where to put the bung. So I got the steel one right here, got a spot cleaned off, and now I just need to drill a hole for this little steel tube I got, and that is going to be our new bung for the return off the turbo on Wago. And to drill this hole, I'm going to be using a step bit that Astro Tools just sent over. These are their Blue Steel Max Duty step drill set. It says right here they're made from titanium aluminum nitride for extreme heat and wear prevention, not just a decorative coating like most step drills. So that's really cool. Gonna try those out, get our hole drilled, get our bung welded on, and the oil pan will be ready to go back onto Wago. All right, just got the oil pan all welded up from the inside. I added some weld on the outside as well, just for some support, but just got that guy cleaned out as well. So this is ready to go. And then also found a set of GSR blades. These are the ones that came off of Purple Rain. They've just been sitting in the back, and Emilio said I could bum them just to get Wago moved over. So I'm gonna go ahead and load all of these up in the bed of the truck. Got our oil pan done. And yeah, that's about all we needed from over here. So I'm gonna head back to the house and start putting this thing back together and hopefully have her running by today. All right, back at the house, and I am ready to get this oil pan thrown on to Wago. Just gotta put some silicone on it and stick it up on there. I already went ahead and cleaned off the bottom of the block right there. I took some Scotch-Brite and got all the old silicone cleaned off real good. And then I also cleaned out the bottom of the pickup really good. And then I did stick a flathead in there, and I got it bent back pretty straight. And I just shoved some rags in there, cleaned it out, and used like the end of a screwdriver to kind of shove the rags into all the corners. And then I used the air compressor to kind of blow it out, and everything is nice and clean inside of the pickup. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some silicone on the pan and get this thing back on. All right, I just got the oil pan back on. I just got everything snug while the silicone takes some time just to set up, and then I'll fully tighten everything down. And while that's kind of setting up, I'm gonna go ahead and get this axle pulled out of this thing. I actually called a whole bunch of part stores and stuff earlier this morning, and no one had the axle that I need. I'm pretty sure I used a base model RSX passenger side axle. I think I used passenger and driver side just out of a base model RSX, and they fit. But no one seems to have them. It's going to take at least a day to get, unfortunately. Looks like a GSR axle might work, honestly. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep looking around as much as I can, but for right now I can go ahead and get this one off so I can bring it with me to a parts store and see if I can find something that will work. But either way, it needs to come out because it is completely destroyed up in there. So I'm going to get that guy pulled out and see if we can't find a replacement today. Well, I got the axle out, but this cup is not wanting to come off. I had to take the whole half shaft off put this thing in the freaking vise, and I finally got it to start budging. So should come off. And there we go. That was an extra half an hour. Got the old axle in this box right here, and I think we found an axle that is going to work. So like I said, it looked like a GSR axle might fit in there, and since they were all out of base model RSX axles, which I believe this one is, it might have been a GSR axle, honestly. I went over to a AutoZone and they had a 1995 GSR axle in stock, and this is for the driver side of GSR, not the passenger side, even though it is the passenger side axle. But with the K-Series, the transmission sits to this side, so the half shaft is going that way. And then, you know, in the GSR, it's flip-flop, so you actually have to get the driver side axle. I brought this one just to check the lengths and everything, and I just compressed both of them and set them side by side. It looks like this GSR axle is going to work perfect, so we're going to go ahead and slap this guy in there, and then the axle will be fixed and done, and then we will move on to installing the innovative traction bar. Before I put the axle back in, I am actually going to add this traction bar piece that goes right here, because it's a lot easier to get to these two bolts without the axle in place, so I did forget about that. So I did actually just go ahead and open up the box from Innovative, and inside this box we have a brand new EF traction bar kit. This is like their pro level EF traction bar. This thing is beautiful. You guys have seen it before, and if you guys don't remember the last video, this is what happened during the wreck. So this one completely cracked right there and bent that one out of shape, and then this is what's left of the traction bar that bolts to the body itself. It completely bent that all the way forward. The tow hook is completely mangled. That is supposed to look more like that, and you can see this is almost just completely parallel now. This piece was tweaked and was supposed to be back there, but yeah, it got beat up pretty bad. So Innovative sent a brand new traction bar, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Innovative. I reached out to them about this, and they had no problem with replacing the one that we broke. So I want you guys to do me a huge favor, go follow Innovative. They've been nothing but awesome to us, always helping out with whatever we need, and the fact that they sent us a new traction bar for Wago is awesome. So can't thank them enough. I'm gonna go ahead and get the one side bolted on. The other billet arm that is on this side is actually in pretty good shape, and it's fine, and it's already bolted up down there, so I'm just gonna leave it in place. And then the other one will be a spare for now, but I'll probably end up changing it out later just so they're both brand new. And also, I don't know if that one is damaged at all until I pull it off. It could be also slightly bent. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy bolted on there, then we'll get to putting the axle and stuff in. But yeah, check it out, guys. Innovative mounts with the billet arms. These are sweet, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed. All right, guys, we are getting pretty close. I didn't film too much of putting the traction bar and stuff on just because I was trying to get it knocked out. We are starting to run out of daylight, but I just got the traction bar put back on and everything is bolted up nice and tight. I just kind of used the jack to hold it up into place because I also had to hold the intercooler and radiator up while I did that. I got both bolts in on this side right there. Both of the billet arms are in and tight, but on this side, I was only able to put one bolt in right here because this back one doesn't quite line up. The nut certain side of there is a little tweaked back to one side. So I think what we need to do is take this back off at some point, run the bolt in there and get some like vice grips to clamp onto the bolt or some way to get some leverage on the bolt, maybe put like a tube over it with it on the lift or something, and we can bend the bolt straight into place. I tried to do it with what I had here, but I just don't have the tools to do it. So we are just gonna send it with one bolt to get it home, but she's nice and tight, and I've definitely drove on some sketchier stuff before. But yeah, that's all put back together, and I can also confirm that the control arm is definitely bent. That thing is freaking noodled back there, but you know, we're gonna make it home on that thing. And I also got the axle put in, so that's back in there. The new GSR axle, when in doubt, GSR axle it out. I'm surprised I've used a GSR axle on like so many different swaps and they just seem to work, which is crazy. Half shaft is back in, and I also had to put a new oil filter on there because just like when the Rousey broke the axle, when this one came apart too, we took out the oil filter, so it was dented up pretty good. So the new oil filter's on, pan's on, nice and tight. I snugged it up, and we are just about ready for the oil. But yeah, this side definitely needs some going through before I can really start to drive it again, but she'll be good just to make it home. And yeah, I'm gonna top it off with oil, and then I'm going to be doing the first fire up. Hopefully everything is good. And another thing is I was not able to find an alternator for this thing today. Just like the axle, all the part stores were sold out, or they just didn't have it in stock, I mean, and I'm just gonna have to order one and wait for that to come. And even if I did find an alternator, the belt is a custom size anyways, so I just wouldn't have that stuff working regardless tonight. But we're gonna try to fire it up. I have 2 fully charged jump boxes, so we'll be able to let the motor run for quite some time. But yeah, I'm gonna get some oil in there and let's hear Wago fire up. I'm ready to hear this thing make some noise again. It's been too long after the wreck. I've been meaning to fix this thing way sooner, but I've just been so busy with my personal life, guys. But you know, time has come to get Wago back up and going again. Oh yeah, got Wago off the jack stands, got oil back into the engine, and I'm just about ready to fire this thing up. I had to put the oil return from the turbo back onto the pan. I also had to tighten up the intercooler and radiator to the traction bar. We had a little bracket made, so I got all that tight. And she is off the jack stands, like I said, on the GSR blades, and she is ready to fire up, guys. I also got the jump box on the back because she is dead. So got the jump box hooked up back there. And yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's listen to Wago fire up. It has been a minute. Oh, come on. I think we have a weak connection on the jump box. I don't think it's on there very good. Probably this positive. Oh no, it was that negative. There it goes. All right, here we go. Come on. Come on. Why aren't you going? You have plenty of battery. The coil's missing out of this thing? No, the coils are in. Sometimes I borrow coils out of cars. Why is Wago not wanting to fire, guys? Oh, crap. How did that happen? How did I even notice that? Is that the map sensor? Oh, it is the map sensor. Oh, crap, guys. I don't have a map sensor. I stole it for the Routacy or something. Oops, we're gonna need that. Well, guys, I tried. We were almost there. She was just about ready to fire up, but we don't have a freaking map sensor on this thing. I'm pretty sure I stole that for the Routacy when we were getting ready to go to Florida because I didn't have one. So I needed one before we left, and sure enough, Wago's was on there, and Wago wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. But now it caught back up to me, so we need to find a map sensor for Wago. I'm sure we have some more at the shop in stock, so I'm probably just gonna grab one tomorrow, come back over here and try to get this thing home. And I was even thinking this morning about taking the alternator off of the Routacy and the belt and stuff for Wago, because none of the part stores had it in stock. And you guys know me, I always will steal little stuff off of one car and put it on another just because I'm impatient, and I'm like, oh, that car has it right now, so I can do it right now. Don't have to wait on parts. But I'm trying to break that habit where I'm stealing parts off of other cars. And you know, past Kyle decided to steal the map sensor off of this thing, and now it's biting me back. So it is what it is, guys. We tried. At least she's back on all 4 wheels and everything's back together. The pan's on. She's ready to go once we get the alternator and belt sorted out and stuff. And that's gonna be it. I don't think I'm gonna end this video right here though. I think I'm going to go ahead and wait till we get the map sensor, and I'll film at least getting it home and stuff, and we'll leave it there. But I am done for tonight. This thing has been taking my whole weekend up, but you know, it was worth it. She's back on the ground and just about ready to go again. All right, we are back at the house, 3rd day working on Wago. We got the GSR blades put on the back, so this one was on the passenger rear. This one also got destroyed in the wreck, so now she is sitting on all 4 good wheels and tires so she can actually roll. We got the jump box back on the battery, and of course we got a map sensor now to see if she wants to fire up. So let's see if she wants to run. pressure. We are looking good, boys. I've missed you, Wago. She's moving. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Nice. She's moving again. So I brought my friend Nick over. He's gonna be driving the truck back. I just brought him with me so we can take Wago back to the house. So we only have the jump boxes still since we didn't get an alternator put on this thing, but I have 2 fully charged jump boxes and a good battery if we need to swap batteries out. This tire is a little wonky. Like I said, that control arm is bent, so it does have a slight camber in, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I mean, the stance boys at the car meets definitely drive with way more camber than that, and they make it, so I think we'll be good. Gonna go ahead and send it and try to make it back to the house on the GSR blades. We also don't have the fender on this side, but she's sounding good. Oil pressure's good. So I think we're ready to make the journey to our new home. Well, we are off. Hopefully we have enough jump box power to make it home. We are currently on our first jump box. She's running pretty good. She actually drives really straight. I don't even notice the control arm being messed up, even though it definitely needs to be addressed, but it feels completely fine. I'm just trying to leave everything off that doesn't need to be on, not playing any music, not turning on the heater fans for any reason, even though it's really hot today, so I don't need them anyways, but gotta save as much power as we can so we can make it back. So we've been driving for about 20 minutes and my RPM gauge is starting to bug out. That means we're starting to get pretty low on battery voltage. Right now I'm just coasting. I'm letting the car just kind of roll since we're going downhill right now. I also don't know how much the coolant fan is spinning with it being so low, so I'm also shutting it off just to make sure we don't overheat it, because I don't have a coolant temp gauge in here, so I just want to make sure she's not getting too hot. But I think I'm going to pull off right here real quick and swap out to the second jump box, but we should have plenty to make it from here. Jump box is swapped out. The second jump box will be enough, but we are barely gonna make it. She's breaking up. I don't even think it's gonna run. But we are literally just about to pull onto my street and I'm all the way downhill, so yep, she just shut off. I think we can coast it from here though, because literally my turn is right here. So we're just gonna try to coast her all the way to the house. We're right there too. Oh yeah, she's gonna come to a stop up here. We're still coasting. Oh, we're good. A little more downhill right here. 2 jump boxes was exactly enough to get this thing back. We got about 8 more houses to go. We are now going maybe 3 or 4 miles an hour, but we're gonna make it. And we are here. We made it. We had to coast for a ways, but Wago made it to the house, boys. 2 jump boxes later. Well, Wago made it back. We just got her backed up into the garage. We had to put the fresh battery in there to start it once again, but she made it. Definitely need to fix all the other little things on it, get the alternator fixed and the belt, get the fender on there, get a new control arm on this thing, and should be ready to go pretty soon after that. But everything looked good. It drove back great. And yeah, I'm glad she's just on all 4 wheels again. But more to come on Wago. We're getting out of here for today. So huge thanks to Nick for driving the truck over for me. But she made it, and that's gonna be the end of this video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later.